YouTube fam? Back at it again, guys. It's Clint Lund with LundMX, back with the KX500 conversion, the Yamasaki, right? So, a lot of you guys have been hitting me up, and I feel like I always start every video with a lot of you guys, and that's because I do keep up with the comments and the questions I get on Instagram. Now, granted, I still do have like 70-something unread messages that I will get to. It's overwhelming. It's a lot, but I can handle it. But at the same time, a lot of you have been asking, about the backstory on the 500. And of course, as always, if you want to be filled in as to why we came to this, where it came from, go back and check out the videos. But just to sum it up real quick, we picked up this 06 YZ450 I met the guy down near Valencia, California, near Magic Mountain. And I bought the whole rolling chassis. I'll put up a little photo here. I put up the whole, I bought the whole rolling chassis. The motor was blown for, I think, $1,000 is what we agreed on. And I knew the engine was blown. I didn't know how bad. The first intention was to just bring it back, throw maybe a set of valves at it, a piston, whatever broke, really, and get it back on the dirt again. Well, when I cracked it open, there was a lot wrong. There was, the valves exploded inside the cylinder head and ruined the piston, ruined the cylinder, ruined the head, and it would have just cost so much more money in buying piston. Who knew about the connecting rod or the crank bearings or the bottom end in its entirety? I didn't pull it apart, so I just decided we'll do a transplant. So I had this 87 KX500 that I bought years ago. It premiered on the channel years ago. I got it in a trade, and it snapped like 3 kickstarters on me. And the one time I did get it to run, to finally start, it revved to the absolute moon, pinned. I couldn't turn it off, holding in the kill switch. There was too much flame in the cylinder to turn it off. And it basically revved to the moon until it ran out of gas. And it scared the crap out of me. But having said that, I decided, like, okay, this thing just needs to come all apart and rebuild it, and I'll put it back in the 87 KX500. Well, so I tore apart the entire KX500, which is actually the frame is hanging up in the rafters, along with my mini pipe collection. But the frame's up there. So I took it over to our buddies over in Buellton, California. It's a powder coating place, CIP powder coating. I've used them many times. And as I was bringing it down to him, I was just looking over the frame, and it had so many stress cracks all over the frame where it literally crushed me, guys. The old frame was just beat, not to mention the whole underside of the rails were just trash, bent in, they're destroyed. So I knew that the engine at least was rebuildable. We can make it new, make it awesome, make it run, and we did. So in the last episode, you guys saw that, where I just hooked up the essentials, put a header pipe on it, an expansion chamber. I put on our new smart carb, 40mm smart carb. I pre-mixed up some Reverend oil in our fuel, and she fired right off, and I was so pleased. And it turned out, so on the back plate of the stator, everyone usually goes to the center bolt holes in the stator. That's just where it makes sense. However, for some reason, at one point or another in this 500, that stator was changed. I did find out it's a KX250 stator and back plate. I'm not sure what years they came off of. I just know it is because I found some photos of a correct stator, and it looks nothing like it. So I just basically lined up where the trigger was on the flywheel and the stator, and retarded the timing just before top dead center, and she lit off within like 3 or 4 kicks. It was awesome. So now that that's figured out and dialed, so having a KX250 stator and flywheel on this tells me that someone, I don't think it was a performance thing that they're after, even though it's a lighter assembly, and the CDI is different, everything's different. But we're gonna run it. We're gonna test it out, see if it works. If not, then I'll buy the old 87 electronic set for it and put it back on it. So that's where we're at. motor runs, and it runs really good. Sounds nice and crispy, but it is loud because I still got a manufacturable little muffler for it, and it's gonna be a lot of work, but your boy can handle it. Guys, you don't understand. I am out here in the shop, garage, whatever, every single day, and I'm grinding on something. Whether it's, you know, the 90 KX500 I just picked up, the 98 KX500. I mean, I'm working on cylinders. I'm trying my hand at porting. I'm working on doing some different porting on some they're old junk heads. I mean, let's be honest, they're kind of trashed. But I'm just always honing my craft, just trying to do something better with myself here at the shop, garage, or whatever, trying to improve my craft and what I do. So, anyways, now that little spiel's over, what are we doing today? Well, guys, I removed the air boot. Now, this is a 4-stroke air boot from our original 06 YZ450F. And, well, this air boot, as you can imagine, does not fit on our 40 mil smart carb. It's by far wrong. And to point out, almost every conversion you will do, putting a 500 in something, or it really doesn't matter, there will be some work that you'll need to do on the air box, and I knew that coming in. So what did I do? I went to our parts bike that's a 99 KX250. The motor was taken out of that to be put in the 98, and so now I have this parts bike. Well, I was getting desperate. There's a couple people have done this conversion before, but I couldn't really find any notes on it. So I had to go and do some digging on my own and find out that, yes, the 99 to 01 KX250 air boot fits really, really close. Here it is. I'll go snip this on real quick for you. It's dirty right now, but we're not running it, but I'm just showing you this for mocking up purposes. She fits. See how good it marries on the end of that carb? Not only that, obviously it's going to clear our shock absorber nice and good. So right now these holes here, you have to mount this to the YZ450 airbox. We cannot use a KX250 airbox because it won't fit inside of the YZ450 subframe, right? So we are boy, look at the castings in this. Those are just crummy. Gonna have to clean those up. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna use this in the YZ450 airbox. And this, I mean, for the sake of you can't make this stuff up, you gotta show it. So this, sorry about the lighting. This is the inner filter cage, you know, that you guys put your air filter on, and the bolt goes through the middle right there. Well, see the shape of that? See the shape of our airbox? Looks similar, right? So putting this in, obviously there's no holes. I have to drill the holes. So I marked on the air boot, I marked on the air box, where after I kind of just marked everything up and where it needs to meet. Again, the lighting not very good. Apologize. Wasn't planning on vlogging back here, but here we are. So that's where I have it marked up so it fits into our frame. Killer, right? So we're going to drill some holes. We're going to fit this air boot onto this air box, get the air filter situation, clean the heck out of this thing, because all the air induction stuff on this stuff is just absolutely nasty. So we're going to clean this all up, get it mounted, hopefully make some mounts for our exhaust. We need to work on radiators. And guys, I mean, at that point, after we have all the air induction, the exhaust, and cooling done, then that's like what we put on: plastic, chain sprockets, wheels, suspension, and we're done. Really, really coming fast. I mean, I make it sound like it's that easy and fast, but honestly, I still got to do brake lines. I'll do that all off camera because that's boring. You know, I got to do all the brake lines. I got to do cables and routing, and that's not a big deal. I still got to do front motor mounts. Again, not a big deal, but I just got to do it. I have, obviously, uppers, the swing arm, and the lower ones hooked in right now. But yeah, guys, the KX500 Yamasaki is coming along so fast that I am excited we will have this thing easily done quickly here. So let's move on. So let's go out into the wind here. So we got our subframe just marinating. This is just simple green and water. We're just gonna let this whole airbox and subframe, everything kind of marinate in this thing for a while because it's all very, very greasy. And we're gonna scrub on this thing with a soft bristle brush and get it looking pretty good again. Alright, boys and girls, now that she is mostly complete and there, aside from a cooling system, still I'm going to get to it. It's just a lot harder than it looks like just the bolt radiators on. The bolts don't match up where they're supposed to go, so I have to make it match up where it's supposed to go. So, but I am curious, for one, how easy it starts now that it's been cold. I haven't started since the last video, which was like 2 days ago. And I'm curious if it sounds any better with the exhaust. Of course it'll sound better, right? But anyways, I just want to start it. Let's see how many kicks it takes. I'm curious. This is difficult. Gas on. Yep. Just priming it. Not sure how many kicks that was, but after I stop kicking it like a little girl, then it lights off. When I give it one full foot from top to center, she lights right off, no problems. Alright, YouTube fam, so I'm like on day 16 million on doing this, and obviously I got a lot done. So just take a look at her, guys. So I haven't been showing you a lot on what I've been doing just because it's so time consuming, and it isn't really like trying to put myself in your shoes watching this. It just really wouldn't be that interesting to watch. Things like making new brackets for the radiators. You know, I want to use the existing radiator mounts that were there for the Yamaha 450 engine and just make an adapting plate that makes it so I can mount the KX500 radiators. Keeping in mind that we need to retain the original mounting positions for all the plastics, and so it all looks, you know, original. It looks like, you know, it was done well. So next thing I'm going to be doing is just finally putting on some hoses, running some coolant to it. I have, you know, our new air box with our air filter in there. That's hooked up great. You guys heard it run. It sounds really good, especially with the muffler back on it now. I just want to get it off the bench. I want to get it on its own two wheels and start it so it's not vibrating everything that's on the bench, or it's even on the stand. It's kind of rattling on top of the little stand there too, so it's just kind of annoying. Other than that, guys, I got the the petcock fixed. It no longer leaks. Yeah, just a lot of creating mounts, brackets, things like even for the exhaust pipe, you know, the expansion chamber right here where it mounts to the subframe, making that mount. And then one of the other thing too, guys, is keeping everything rubber mounted as much as possible on the KX500 because these things shiver a little bit. So the more things you have rubber mounted, it will keep the vibration down. It'll really help with dampening. So I've been really trying to focus on things like the muffler. You know, it's dual rubber mounted, just to keep some shiver out of it. And you know, the pipe mounts, rubber mounted. You know, just the things you got to think about when building the bike. So anyways, guys, probably going to close it down here because I have suspension coming in. That's going to be in the next video, and we'll get this thing down on its own 2 feet. Really excited about that, especially to start it when it's on its own 2 feet. We might even be able to click it in gear and up the street real quick, even though this is not the final finished phase. I hope you guys realize that before you start liking or disliking this video. This is all what's called a dry mock-up. Basically, I'm finding where I want to mount everything, and then she gets torn back again, right on down the frame for the big reveal. Obviously, you guys won't see it after that point until the big reveal here on the channel, and you'll see with what we went with as far as a theme for this KX500 Yamasaki YZ450. But guys, gonna be having a video real soon coming up on the 05 KX250. It was our I guess our impression of what a 2005 KX250 would look like if Kawasaki was still making them 2020, 2021. Obviously with some artistic liberties taken into mind. And so that's going to be real fun. A lot of really excellent parts going on this bike. And then, yeah, so Yamasaki, and then the 98 KX250, which I've been talking with the guys at Era, with Flap over there at Aramoto. And he's smashing together graphics that you guys voted on the Instagram channel at LundMX, and the majority voted, and so that's what we're going with. So really excited to show you guys that when I get that in, because that bike is like 90% done. It really just needs tires, graphics, and I think, other than all the bodywork and stuff that you'll see, but I think it's largely done, so that's kind of rad. Other than that, guys, I'll get you some close-up shots real quick so you can see everything that we did. So in here is our air boot. It connects to the back of the smart carb there. And I worked really hard to make this look as OEM as possible. There's no boogering of any sealant. You know, when I joined the two, I put a sealant in between a Permatex all the way around. Nothing coming out. It seals nicely. And then obviously the air that comes in now isn't going to get contaminated by anything sneaking by here. But that looks real nice. The position comes real nice into the carburetor. Obviously comes out of the carburetor. Nice straight shot into the cylinder. I'm going to be making lower mounts off of this lower engine mount. So I have a bolt in here right now because this is what I'm working on as we speak. I'm locating, so I need to make a triangle mount here for the forward engine mounts, and then another mount off this top bolt will go up here to the lower mount of the radiator. Same thing over there on the pipe side, or on the other side. I don't know why I said pipe side. What else is going on? Let's flip to the other side. Oh, and the wheels on. I'll show you guys what we had to do here. So when I was setting up this muffler, and this is, again, things you got to think about when you're building a bike, is when your wheel travels all the way up with the shock in it, will it hit the muffler? In this case, no. We have plenty of room, so this brake caliper does not impact that muffler, which is nice. So I had to put the rear wheel on just to get a look at that. Okay, switching over here. What do we got to look at over here? Get this thing centered again. Yeah, so this is the mount I went with on this radiator. So on these radiators, guys, again, these are in dry mock-up. As soon as I have all the mounts made, I will take these radiators off, clean them, repaint them black, because that's what they originally came in. So reheat them in the black, and route all of our new hoses on here as well. CDI, you would remember, was mounted here. I have it mounted in the front now. The number plate will be here, the forks, and that's great. It's out of the way. Yeah, other than that, I mean, you need to put on our new countershaft sprocket, shift lever, route our clutch cable goes through here to the clutch actuator arm. I need to cut this fuel line shorter, but not a big deal. That's just, I left it a little long, not a big deal. Let's see, what else? Anything worth noting? Not really. I need to put on the lower chain roller after I get the chain on. New sprockets, obviously. Killer sprockets coming. I am using this rear wheel, getting a matching front. I'll give you guys that much info as far as some colors you might see on the final draft. But guys, that is basically the Yamasaki. She's so freaking close to being on the ground right now. It's insane. So last video, if you guys didn't see that, or the video before last, I premiered this beauty, and some of you guys didn't see when I got this because I got a message, like 50 of them on Instagram saying, when the heck did you get the KX500? So I got this from a viewer, a longtime viewer, Duster1970 on Instagram, real good guy. He hooked it up and we ended up buying this I think it's a 91 KX250. Just went through and cleaned it all up the best I can. I had actually before and after photos. You can go back and check that out. There still is a lot of work to be done, but right now I just want to get it in a nice sitting position where I don't have to touch it, and when I'm ready I could come and spend some time on this. So I'm really excited to get plugging on this thing. I put on the steering dampener, you know, things you got to think about with 500s, right? Like I said, 98, I'm just waiting on some things, but that thing is almost done. And then this is the 05. We're going to finally start putting that together. There was a video, obviously, I put out where we stripped the frame down, blued all the welds, and cleared it. And that thing looks like a showpiece just by the frame itself. The worst bike on Craigslist, guys. I've actually been doing a lot to this thing. You wouldn't guess, but I've been doing a lot to this. I know it doesn't look a lot different to you, but we have so much awesome things still coming for the worst bike on Craigslist. I am receiving a clutch. Thank you, Austin from Recluse. They're sending me a really neat clutch. I can't wait to show you guys for this thing, to hold some of this power and really let this thing scream, because the clutch that's in it now, even though it's a brand new OEM clutch, it spins when I really feed this thing the meat and potatoes. So Recluse is sending over clutch. I want to talk to you guys about the changes I've made to it. All good. And also talk to you about what this thing did on the dyno, because I think it will surprise you as much as it surprised me. But I'm not going to leak any of that until I have hard data in front of me and I can show you guys, because it's really insane how much power this thing is putting out. It blew my mind. It rivals a 500, I'll put it that way. So anyways, a lot of really good stuff coming up on the channel, guys. So if you love dirt bikes, you love riding dirt bikes, beating them up, fixing them back again, this is the channel for you guys. Make sure you subscribe and you like the video and you stay abreast of what's going on here at the shop, garage, whatever, because that's going to do it for today. Love every single one of you guys. I can't wait to get this thing on the street, dirt. I can't wait to get on the ground, and when it happens, you'll be there. I will talk to you very soon, as promised. Peace out for now. Later, guys.